whatever you imagine your life is for is what your life is for. Isn't it? You know, your entire life is going to be created by you. This is your experience. This is your dream. You know, I'm just someone who lives inside of your dream. You know, someone you're watching. You know, and this is a choice. You know, the same way that me making this video is a choice. And everything that I decide to do after this is a choice. You know, and a lot of people don't cut that deep. You know, but what you're not changing, you're choosing every day. You know, and just when you finally decide to get out there into the world, you start to see all the bad, all the negative. You know, how things were once colorful are now gray. You know, it seems like everything is dead. You know, as you grew older, you thought everything would be fine. But you look around and you watch as everything around you dies. You know, whether that's the trees, your relationships, the people around you slowly distancing themselves from you. You know, whether it's you have a relationship and you think the people don't even like you inside of it. You know, you think it's some kind of game. You know, that maybe your mind is playing some kind of game with you. You know, you're always wanting. You can never explain why you want something. You either do or you don't. And that's the whole way of life. It moves on. Whether you want to accept what happened in your life or not, you gotta move on. You know, and I don't really care how bad things get, because you're here. You know, every single bad thing that has happened to you, you could either let it destroy you, or you could allow that to be the pressure to shape you into the person that you need to be. Because nobody knows what you need except the universe. You know, because whatever's going to happen to you is going to happen regardless. And you can't explain why it happens, or how it happens, or if it even happens at all. You know, but I could tell you the fact that I still think about it just proves that it was real. You know, that I actually went out there and I did something. You know, someone said to me, I don't want to say who it was, but they asked, how do they find their purpose? You know, and I was kind of thinking too, because I've always wondered the same thing, you know, my purpose in this life, what is it? Why do things happen? You know, you can't really focus on the bad things, because if you focus on them, they will cloud your mind, and they will be overtaken by you, and you won't be able to say or do exactly what you need to do. You will be restrained by your own mind. You know, because you're not stuck in life, you are stuck in your mind. And you can't find your purpose. It's not underneath that rock, or in that bush over there, or at the top of that tree, or inside this McDonald's. A lot of people don't tell you, a lot of people don't want you to realize that you create the world around you. You know, that the thoughts you feed are the thoughts that grow, and the ones that you keep around, the ones that you keep in company, are the ones that are going to dictate your life, because it's all about perspective. You know, because what does not kill you makes you just that little bit stronger. You create your purpose. You don't find it. You find your passion. You find what you enjoy. You go out there, you explore. That's how you find things. And then, like we said before, you can't explain why you want something, but you just do. You have this passion for it, obsession, because obsession beats discipline. Obsession beats motivation. There's nothing like doing the thing other than doing the thing, like we said before. And if you want to do something in this life, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the clouds to part, or the unicorn to come and say, come on, hop on, let's show you where your life's purpose is, or let's show you what the meaning of life is, or what this is all about? I don't know what it's all about. The truth is, it doesn't really matter what it's all about. You're here. You could smiling. I'm here smiling or whatever. You're alive. You're breathing. You're seeing if you're lucky enough to see. You're walking if you're lucky enough to walk. Real growth in this life looks like loss. My throat is getting a little scratchy. This is a reminder to drink water and hydrate yourself. And don't let the little things in life slow you down, dude. It is actually all about the little things. The small victories. The way you present yourself. The way you go about your day. The boulder will pass by. And everything will be better. Because if you can get out there. If you can get out there and be your unique individual self, that is original, by the way, and will never be again, you can start really seeing what your life is all about. Because the truth is, at the end of days, it's not a bad thing. The truth is, you get to have an ending. And the truth is, there's no such thing as happy endings in this life. The only reason why video games and movies, most of them have happy endings, is to compensate for the fact that in real life, there rarely are any. Because you're probably picturing how things will end. And I can't tell you how they'll end. But I can tell you it's not going to be that epic way that you thought. It's going to come suddenly, unexpectedly. You're going to wish you could take it all back. But that moment is not now. It's not anytime soon. You're here. You get to choose what it is you want to do. Isn't that pretty amazing? You get to live your life. The only way to find where you're going is to get lost. To get out there and truly explore what it is this life has to offer. And then eventually, you'll find where you are supposed to go. Because life does not shape you the way you want to be shaped. It shapes you the way that you need to be shaped. All the pressure from every side, all the distractions, everything that is bad, it all gets rolled up into one big ball, dribbled a couple times and shot into a basket, and then goes everywhere. Because you need to realize something in life. You are going to get hurt. You are going to get cut, stabbed, destroyed. But the truth is, if you continue to move forward without healing your wounds, you will bleed on the people that did not cut you. You will continue to spread your trauma, that negative voice, the way you are desperately trying to see things, the way you're desperately trying to change and be better. Because if you can just change the way you look at things in life, the moment you decide, if you decide to, you see things differently in life as soon as you start seeing things differently. The things you look at change when you start thinking differently, having a different perspective, looking at it from a different perspective that is not you. Because sometimes your judgment is clouded. Sometimes you're blinded by love or just fantasy or just delusion. But most of that is delusion. You fake it until you make it in this life. And you can create it into whatever you want it to be. I was kind of brain farting back there, as you can see. Even though it usually is something. That happens. Your life. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. And that's the truth. Because you can't stop life from happening. You can't stop yourself from doing what it is you're doing. You either do or you don't do. If you tell someone you're going to do something, does that lessen the odds of you actually doing it? Because you're trying to motivate yourself in some way, but you realize that you told yourself tomorrow that you would do it today, but you don't do it today. You always hold off. Life is exactly what you make it. Nothing more, nothing less. No one has lived your life from start to finish, or to wherever you are right now, is what I mean. So the best thing I could tell you right now to leave you off is get out there. You create your own life. Whatever you imagine your life is for is exactly what your life is for, because eventually you will realize that it does not have to make sense to anybody besides you. Doesn't have to make sense to them. Doesn't have to make sense to those people or whatever. When you realize it just has to make sense to you, and if you think you're doing the right thing, every person that comes into your life is a blessing or a lesson. I think it goes blessing or a lesson, something like that. And also one more thing that just came into my head. You will never be able to not care what people think. You will always care what people think. It's just human nature. Even if you choose to not see it that way, you always will. Even if you're lying to yourself. You do. You do. But that's okay. The people you choose to seek that validation from, you could change that. No, maybe you're around rude people, disrespectful people, people that don't appreciate you for you. Find better people. And while you're creating your life into whatever you want it to be, because you realize that life is not some stagnant thing where you need to just follow all the rules and watch the bumps and duck your head and watch what you're doing. No. Life is a game where you could poke and real things happen. And you could shape and mold this life into whatever it is you want it to be. And if you want to choose to see it in a negative perspective and not care, then that is on you. And I'm not saying that I'm not that. I'm not saying that I'm carefree. I don't care what anyone thinks. It's not true. But speaking it makes me feel a little bit better. I'm gonna go eat because I haven't eaten all day. It's kind of late in the afternoon. I haven't eaten yesterday either. Doesn't matter. Get out there. Stay positive. And most importantly, enjoy your day and realize that you could do whatever it is you want to do. If you actually get out there and do it, then you can do it. Don't let that go over your head. You can do whatever you want. Success is rewarded to the people who could suck at something the longest. So get out there and suck. Get out there and fail. And then eventually, you'll have something to show for it. Maybe. I'm not saying if you go out there and follow all of life's plans and rules that everything is going to work out for you, because that's just not how life works. But like we said before, it's better to go out there thinking you could win and not win than going out there thinking you won't win and, well, don't win.